Kia ora koutou, welcome to South Pacific Muscle. Tonight we're going to do a review of the Tournament of Champions, and we've got Shane Hunter joining us. Of course, Shane, as you know, IFBB Pro, also an IFBB judge and show promoter, so he promotes the Tournament of Champions, obviously. And I've managed to get along, and it was definitely worth the trip over to Palmerston. First up, I'll say what a fantastic venue the Regent Theatre is.
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue, and we're blessed or pretty lucky to have that in our, as a local venue. And with what I wanted to bring to the IFBB and just bodybuilding in general is environment, stage, lighting, setting, just atmosphere in general. So it complements what we're trying to achieve.
That lighting there was probably, I would say, the best lighting I've seen in the country.
Yeah, so when I went down and had a look at the venue and I talked with the stage engineers with the music and the lighting and stuff, once I explained to them, what bodybuilding's about, and we went through and we had a couple of different options, and I think we got it right with the lighting. You guys know, these athletes put a lot of time and effort into bringing the best physique, and I've been to Olympia even and seen shit lighting, you know what I mean? And it doesn't complement or justify the bodies on stage that you see live. So yeah, we really nailed that. And if you see some of the photos from Linda, everyone looks phenomenal. The stage, the athletes, just the presentation and the lighting just complements all the hard work and effort. So yeah, it's on the money. Yeah,
it was a real, just a beautiful venue with just perfect lighting, in my humble opinion. And the caliber of athletes was very, very high. Your thoughts on the caliber of athletes as a general?
Oh, I was stoked with the quality of athletes. I judged at the Nationals a few weeks earlier. And to be fair, I was proud of what was on stage at Nationals, given it's a COVID year. And then when I saw the quality that came into our show, I was like, I was really, really proud. I was stoked. You see the overall photos and everyone's super quality. So no, I was stoked with the quality of the athletes.
Yeah, and shout out to Linda Schutz. Always there at all the IFBB shows, but she gets some amazing photos. So if you were competing there, Linda's the one to get in touch with. If you want to get some stage shots that you'll hold dear to your heart for many, many years. What we might do is just pull up a quick presentation, and I apologise, we haven't got photos of all the athletes, but we took what snaps we could and found what we could to make comments. So if we don't comment on you tonight, it's not a case of us overlooking you. I was there in the flesh, yelling and screaming and cheering, and kudos to all of you that got on stage. So bring that up.
How many athletes did you have at the show, Shane?
We had over 80 athletes, and I think we had 160 category entries. So it was a big show, and I think we had around 400 people through the door, spectators. So yeah, it was a good show.
Righty-ho. So first up, I was pretty impressed by your guest poser. You managed to get Dennis a couple of weeks out from the Nationals after just winning his pro card, and he got on stage and showed those fantastic quads of his off.
Yeah, he's got a good set of wheels on him, men's physique competitor and young. Anyone younger than 30 is young to me. So really young, and just a quality athlete.
Yeah. It was good to see him, and good to get him up on stage. There were a couple of other guest posers. I can't remember who the Bikini girls were that got up, but Shane?
We had Kate Mickelson. So funny story. Usually I try and bring someone out from the US, and obviously with like Flex Lewis was going to be our guest poser. That couldn't happen. And my son was racing in Taupo. Kate and Frank came down to watch, and I had a conversation with Frank, and I said, would Kate be interested? And he said, yep, she'll do it. And I go, don't you need to ask her, bro? He goes, nah, don't worry, bro. I'll talk you into it later. So he committed Kate to be guest poser. And the reason I wanted Kate to guest pose is her presentation and what she presents is flawless. And I think a lot of bikini girls needed to see that. I think they need to see, and we can talk on this a little bit later, but the level of conditioning you need to be a bikini athlete. You know, a lot of girls come a little too hard and dry and conditioned, styrated glutes, etc., and that's not the category component. So, yeah, I just want to bring something for the girls to see a polished performance, basically, of this presentation. You know,
certainly was very polished when she came out. Looked every part. You know, just nailed it. So. Thank you, Kate, for that, and partner for volunteering her.
Yeah, it's funny because Mo says, you got a bikini, you know, guest poser. I've never seen a bikini guest poser before. What is she going to do? You know? And I said, don't worry, you know, we just sort of show some of the poses and presentation and stuff. And I thought she did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, one thing I've got to say is that the classic class was absolutely massive. When you brought out all the classic competitors together,
yeah.
Well, I think I videoed that and sent it to Mike at the time and said, "Look at them all." And you know, it wasn't a case of, you know, guys going, "I'm not big enough to do bodybuilding. I'm going to do classic." There were some really good classic competitors on stage there.
Yeah, obviously, me being a pro in that category, I'm a little bit sort of biased to it, but it's a physique that's achievable to a lot of people, and I love the introduction of the class. And I think, like you said, there are some beautiful classic physiques, and you know, if you are a bodybuilder that can't get the size, you can manipulate your physique and change your training and direction towards this class. So I was really stoked. I think New Zealand is so young, you know, with the classic and you know, even the wellness category and that, but I do think those categories are ones that are going to grow over the next couple of years and just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. When I finished up competing the first time at 29, if classic was around, I probably would have carried on. I'm 6'2". I weighed 107 on stage at the nationals, and I was not going to get to 130 or 140 to be competitive at 6'2".
Yeah.
But my limit for classics 109, so I might have stayed in the game.
Yeah, 100%. And that's like, I'm 42 now. And I'm going to do my pro debut next year, and this is achievable for me. I can max out the weight category and put the best version of myself on there. So, you know, let's keep that dream or that spark alive for myself, and I think a lot of other people too.
Yeah, I think you know, I spoke to another pro competitor, and he said that for him to keep pushing for the Open was just, at his age, was just too much for, you know, general well-being and some of the you know, parameters that you should be sitting between as you get older. But he said that to stay in the physique game, like he's got the sort of physique that suits it. So, you know, it sort of was a new lease of life for him, I guess.
Yeah. Definitely keeping a introduction to many people into the sport, but also keeping a lot of people in the sport a lot longer. And you know, like us guys, doesn't matter how old you are. You just love it, you know what I mean? So if there's a way that you can get amongst it and dust the old trunks off and get on there, then that's awesome. And that's what this category has done for heaps of us. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, look, classic class A. So Andrew Murray won that class there fairly comfortably, I would say, in that class. Obviously, you know, his physique sort of sits between the two classes, really. Your thoughts on that Class A?
Yeah, Andrew won it quite comfortably. There are some phenomenal physiques in there. The young boy to the right of him, man, that dude, he's got a ton of potential. He was shredded. He's real thin skin, you know, like really mature muscle for a young guy. And if he learned how to pose, like long story short, he registered, took his shirt off and looked phenomenal. I said, give a look at your legs. Showed us his legs. I was like, bro, jumping classic. I mean, you got a set of wheels. He goes, I don't know any of the posing. I said, good time to learn, you know, just get in and get amongst it, you know. Man, he is the future. He's got a massive future, that boy.
What's his name?
See muscle. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's Benjamin. Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Well, if anyone knows when it comes up, when the podcast goes up, let us know who he is.
Yeah, I do know. I follow him on Instagram, and I've had a lot of dialogue with him. You know, that's one thing post this show that I've loved. I sort of put it out there. Look, I judge the show. If you want any feedback or any direction, feel free, you know, to DM me on Instagram. And people like him, I've had a lot of feedback and a lot of direction and just some advice. If he could pose properly, because he was in men's physique as well, he could have sort of knocked a few people over. And that's just one of the things. You just got to learn how to show yourself the best at all times. But he's got a big future.
Or if he's watching and listening, contact us and he can be our next guest.
Yeah, he's a little freak. I love him. He's prepped by Marjan. Marjan brought a couple of young guys down, and they just looked really clean, really healthy, energetic. You know, like super enthusiastic about the sport and stuff. So good little crew.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice. Right, we had Class B. And two faces I recognise in there from many, many years ago. Josh Stiles, who was a former Miss New Zealand. I believe he won NABA WFF a while back.
Yep, he did.
And, oh, jeepers, must be low in carbs. What's the chap next to him's name, Mike?
It's not Nick Heatley,
Darren?
Is it?
Darren Dingle?
Darren, you're right, Darren.
It's just the haircut look like Nick.
Yeah, no, I follow Darren, and he follows us on South Pacific Muscle. He looked really good too. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, Darren looked really good, super conditioned.
Yeah.
He's a local boy too, and that's one thing that I put this show on for the Manawatu locals. You know what I mean? Instead of having to go to Auckland or Palmerston North or not Palmerston North, Wellington, or Christchurch to do a show, I was like, I'll build a show here for you guys, but I'll commit to you, you commit to me, like do the show, you know, don't make excuses, and we can build it up together. And I wanted to be a positive influence locally and in the NZIFBB, and build a culture down here so we can all work together to progress together, you know. So I've got big plans for next year around, you know, some clinics and for Bikini and Classic, and get some guest speakers in, help with posing, nutrition, all those type of things. So I think it's something that we can build on. And you know, with Darren and Connor and the local team, Scotty McIntosh, it was cool that they committed to the show. Ash Mullen always does the show, so it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought Class B was a real solid Class 2, by the way. So shout out to the guys in Class B. And Class C, we had Mitch, and I wandered outside after the show. Mitch was sitting there, had a chat to Mitch. Real nice guy, hell of a nice guy. So it was good to see him and the taller guys get the win there.
He's done our show the last couple of years, and he's made some massive progression. And when you see someone, you know, come back time and time again and always get a little bit better and a little bit better, to see him, you know, win his category, and with the progression that it made, you know, big wide back, shoulders were nice, you know, he grew some size on his legs. It's just always good to tell them, hey man, you've gone away and you've worked hard and you've done a great job and you deserve the win. So I love seeing that.
A massive shout out, man. Huge effort there, Mitch, and awesome to see you come on stage and the judges notice that your improvement. It's really cool. Yeah,
it was awesome.
Right, this class here was kind of a mix that came on stage, and I wasn't quite sure who was coming on stage at first, but there was a bit of a mix here of masters, teens and juniors, and obviously Andrew in there. I think it might have been Andrew's client to the left of him. Was it Fernando? And the teen guy on the right-hand side, I was trying to get a photo of his most muscular, because his most muscular was so good. I was just absolutely yelling and cheering when he hit his most muscular. I thought, this guy, if he sticks at it in another 4 or 5 years' time, he's going to be one big bodybuilder.
Yeah, he looked really good, and it's always good to see the younger guys come through, and you can just see the enthusiasm and passion they have for the sport. So like you said, as long as they just keep coming back better and better each year, then they'll keep improving.
Yeah. So, big shout out to him. I was really impressed, and his conditioning was really, really good for, you know, most of the teens that come on stage, the conditioning's, you know, 80% or something, but he, you know, his was nice shape too. So, well done, chap. Men's physique class A. I don't really know too much about these guys. Shane, do you know much about the class A guys?
I know Preston. No, to be honest, so many people came, and the show's got a really good reputation over the last couple of years of being for the athletes and looking after them. So I was a little bit overwhelmed when a lot of people know me and I don't know all of them. So everyone seemed to know me, which was really cool. And now I'm taking my time to go through the photos and people's Instagram. I've been following a lot of people back and communicating just to, just familiarize myself with them and be a positive influence if I can, but I'm not. Some of these guys has turned up out of nowhere and look really, really good.
That's Tristan, is that he's Shredded Kiwi Dad or something, isn't he, on Insta?
Yeah, yep, that's Shredded Kiwi Dad, that's Preston.
Preston.
The guy to the left of him looked really good too. Had quite a small waist and was super conditioned. So yeah, he looked pretty good too.
Yeah, it was a good class. A terrible photo here for the overall men's physique. But obviously, the winner better than us. He's done the show a couple of times.
Yeah, Ash Mullen, he's done this is our third show. He's done it every year. He won the first one. He lost the second one to Weta, and then he won it again. So he's been a brand ambassador for nutrition systems for a long time. So, part of him giving back is competing at our show and those types of things. So, I appreciate that when the appreciation and the love is genuine and they come back and support back. So real nice guy.
Yeah, he looked really, really good. It was close. It wasn't like it was all his and there's no other way, because it was quite a range of physiques, and some of them you kind of look at.
Different physiques. Siggert, who's next to him on the right hand side, he had that Dexter Jackson conditioning through the midsection, and even though he was a shorter, sort of stockier package, those guys went toe to toe. And Ash did a 6-week prep for that show. I think he lost about 10 or 12 kgs. He just committed and worked hard. And he looked quite good. Sometimes he comes in a little bit too conditioned and doesn't fill his chest out enough. So you guys know, he's just trying to find that balance. He looks good all the time, but he hasn't hit the nail on hasn't been perfect yet. And I think once he gets perfect, he can win a pro card, so keep working towards that.
And I saw Elijah, Mike that from NABA, he was competing in this. He competed in the men's physique as well as the bodybuilding.
He's awesome. Yeah.
My view, and you can feel free to challenge it, I think you should throw away the board shorts, and that guy could be a phenomenal bodybuilder. My personal view.
He's good. He's a genetic freak. I think he's got to progressively go through whatever categories he's going to go through. I think he's very striking. He's got great stage presence as soon as he comes out, super conditioned through the midsection and chest and stuff. Sort of my advice to him is just work on the shoulders and the upper back a lot more and get that V taper in.
Yeah, that would be my view was that if he was a bit harder through the back, he seemed to sort of, whether he was holding a bit of water or whether he just wasn't quite lean enough and that was the last place it comes off on him. But front on, he was a winner. In the classes, I was looking at him thinking, far out, I think he's got this, and then he turned around and he was a little bit down on some of the other competitors there.
Yeah, a little bit soft through the back, yeah, you're right. And, when you go pose to pose, like some guys, like him, he comes out and he's striking, and then you're almost like, well, first straight away. And then once you, like you said, you turn to the back and do a couple of comparisons, and then it's like, well, he beat him on, the guy that beat him on this pose, this pose, this pose. And it's just a matter of, like you said, tightening up that lower back a little bit. I think he can progress into a bodybuilder, but if he spends the next, year working on his shoulders and bringing that width at the top back, he's super competitive in that. And then you just got to bring up his legs and glutes and hammies, the thing now, man, you turn to the back and that can win or lose a show. You guys know that. And a lot of the guys had phenomenal physiques everywhere, but the glutes were weak or almost non-existent, and that glute hammy tie-in was soft. So I had to just give a bit of feedback to quite a lot of guys. Man, all the girls are working the booty. You got to start working the booty too, man. Yeah.
I think a lot of us kind of forget about that, and we do, hit our quads and hit our hams, but probably don't do enough around that glute tie-in. But anyway, Elijah, you look fantastic out there. Listen to Shane's advice, not mine. I'm just a couch critic, so.
No, you're right. I think he will be a phenomenal bodybuilder. I just think it's going to take time for him to get there. So if he can work on those other areas in the interim, and that was the feedback I gave to him. I said, you will be a bodybuilder eventually, but fix those ones up a little bit more and you can be a lot more competitive in that class in the short term.
Yeah, hey, this class here was really cool. Connor came out, first time I've seen Connor on stage, and Connor's condition was fucking sharp, man. So well done, Connor.
He looked great.
Yeah. And then it's Big James, isn't it? He walked out and I thought, holy fuck, look at this guy. And I don't know, how tall would he be, 6'2" or 3"?
Right, he's a big boy. I saw him in Taupo a few weeks ago at a cafe.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like I didn't know him. I don't know if he knew me or not, but a couple of weeks, 3 weeks later, he's at our show competing, but in person, he's massive. He's got huge arms and big shoulders, and I was like, man, this dude. It'll be interesting to see how he looks on stage. Got the size and the shape, just needs to come in, but more conditioned.
Yeah, like he had a big set of sticks on him. As you say, arms and shoulders were big. I thought when they turned to the back, he probably got shown up a bit by. My memory for names. Mike, right hand side. Sean. We interviewed the other day. Sean had a back like an aircraft carrier. So I think that was probably a difference here, but. That was good. It was good seeing a big man on stage. It was good seeing Connor just peeled to bits, and then you had Sean was sitting somewhere in between the two of them. Really, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Same with Connor. He looked phenomenal from the front, super conditioned, massive progression on last year. And he asked for a bit of feedback, and I said, bro, work on that booty, bro. Tighten those glutes up and that tie-in, and bro, you're just smashing it from all angles. So.
He was leaking a bit too. I think he was losing a lot of water coming out off his chest and that.
That didn't help in the overall. When they're battling out in the overall, and there's a bit of water popping out. But it's all learning.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can see James's legs here, the sheer size of them, like in person. Up and watching him on stage, I was just like, God. He's got a big set of steps.
He's a big boy. He walked around too, like not walking around like a bodybuilder. He just walked around like a big old lumberjack or something. It's just like big boy.
Where's he from?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where he's from. It's cool to see those types of bodybuilders. You know what I mean? Still around and competing. The boys that just want to be the big boys. It was cool to see.
Yeah, man. That was neat. It was good class. And then we had the overall bodybuilding, and a real mix up there actually. And to be honest, from a spectator's point of view, I didn't know where it was going. I was sort of jumping back and forward, and then I was thinking, oh, this guy's got it. And then I thought, well, shit. And Andrew kind of came into his own towards the end. I think his conditioning held, whereas others sort of flattened off a bit.
Yeah, that's what happened. Andrew got sharper as comparisons went on, and because he battled right to the end, the other guys got a little bit tired, and etc. He got sharper, and some of that conditioning in the lower back, glutes and hammies and those types of things were the difference when they keep getting compared. And it jumped. It's funny, we got all the judges there, and we go pose per pose, and then it can come down to one comparison. They might be even, or Andrew won, and then the other guy won, and then it's just like it was really, really sort of back forth. But he definitely got sharper towards the end.
A couple of shout outs on this one. Chris Nelson was the novice he got in the green tights there. Phenomenal, fantastic debut. I thought
he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's he could have won the overall. It just came down to those last comparisons.
Yeah.
And I would have been happy to see either win. I was happy to see Andrew win because he's a New Zealand bodybuilding legend, been around a long time, and he keeps grafting away to try and bring the best version of himself. So it was good to see him get the the call in the end.
I messaged him straight after the show and just said, about fucking time. And I said, huge congratulations, you know, because he's played Bridesmaid so many times. And, you know, for him, I think it's real just validation for all the hard work he's put in year after year after year.
100%. And he could have won the classic physique. You know, him and Josh battled it out too. It was those two being compared pose to pose. And some poses Andrew was better. But towards the end of that, Andrew started tiring and was a little bit soft in some of his posing. And Josh started, you know, like what happening in the bodybuilding, Josh started looking tighter and harder and sort of got better as they progressed. So it was good to, he got what he deserved.
Funny old sport how, you know, it only takes 5 minutes and a physique can change, you know, like on stage. Those guys, particularly when you're right on the money, you know, like the guys like I think Chris and Connor, you know, that were peeled to bits, but then, you know, a physique like that can just change, you know, as your water kicks in and things like that, you know.
Yeah. And a lot of it too is like, it can be what you've eaten in the morning. You know what I mean? Like all the factors from the morning that come into play on the stage, if you've drunk water or sugar. And I don't know, a lot of these guys these days are eating pancakes and burgers and stuff like this in the morning. And it does have an effect on your stage presence, and especially when you're getting into a battle, you know, for an overall title, and you go a bit more watery or a bit softer, or you lose conditioning because you're just fucking tired. Someone else can be a bit sharper, you know, in 2 or 3 poses and beat you. So, the body can change dramatically.
Here's the tip for the young players: don't neglect your posing. Make sure you're rock solid right till the end.
Yeah, 100%. And I said to Andrew just on, you know, on Instagram during the week, I said, you fought to the end in the bodybuilding, got you the W. You slacked off on some of your posing. You can't do all this work, guys, and get to a final for an overall and then be like, oh, fuck, I got to do this again, and get tired and get lazy. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to battle, man. You got to fight till the end.
I've got to throw the best story out on that one. Pan Pacific's one year, a mate of mine competed, first show, won his class. Like, he didn't even get a call out. They left him at the back, so he had this confused look on his face going, what the fuck's happening? And it was clear that he was a winner, so he didn't get a call out. And then Grant Patrice had won his class, and it was up for the overalls. And I said, you ready to go? And he goes, nah, fuck it. I'm going home, man. I want to eat a pizza and have a beer. And he left the show. And I'm like, dude, you did all that work, and, you know, that last little bit. Hey, one of the things one of the guys I really wanted to shout out to was Pohatu Higgs. What a competitor. Like, shit, that guy. I had tears in my eyes. He was just absolutely inspirational.
Yeah, I love Pohatu, and I competed alongside him, you know, 2 years ago, and he brings a good energy backstage. He's super positive. Everybody loves him, and you know, like I said to him, it was an honor to have him on our stage and be a part of our family. He inspires so many people, and he's getting better and better every year. You know what I mean? He's growing. He's looking more balanced. You know, he just loves the sport. So you know, there's always a place for him on our stage, and that's what bodybuilding's about.
And you know, it's called a spade a spade. If you're up there next to him, you've got to work for it. You know, he fucking goes hard, and he, you know, like when he hit his most muscular, I was like, holy shit! And when he hit a lat spread, he just pulled it together and had this fucking nice lat spread. And I was like, how are you even doing that? You're amazing.
He's got a primo body. I was watching him on Instagram over the last couple of months. He put on some big size and looked symmetry looked really good. Shape looked really good, so it was interesting to see what he brought to the stage. And if he came in a little bit more conditioned, could knock a lot of people over. You know, just a little bit sharper. But he looked phenomenal, and you know, got nothing but love for the bro.
Yeah, we've got him coming on in a couple of days' time, so it'll be choice to have a chat to him actually.
Yeah.
And here are our overalls. Look, I'm gonna let you talk on this one, Shane. Our overall champions.
The women's physique, we've got Alyssa. She's on the left-hand side. She was just peeled from head to toe. the other girl that she competed against, Nikki, I think her name is, she had a nice physique, nice symmetry, nice shape, like looked like a bodybuilder. But this girl was just man, you just saw striations for her glutes and everywhere just when she walked around. But she was shredded. Even Mo says, I've never been that shredded before. She's shredded.
did she just win her category in Mateo's show this weekend?
Yeah, she did. She did. And you know what's cool too, whether it's females or males, when you see those little or the shorter competitors and they can knock some big people over because their size and their shape's really good and they're just ripped to the bone. Probably because I'm sure I love seeing the little people get a few W's. So she was really cool.
Cool. And then Josh, obviously, Auckland boy. Haven't seen him for a while, but it was cool to see him on stage. Oh, big kid.
Yeah, I was stoked because I've been a good friend with him for a while. I competed when I won the WFF Pro card that year. He competed. I'm sure he won his as well. Yeah, and he'd been out of the game a little bit. He messaged me about 6 months ago and says, "Bro, is your show still on? You know, around the COVID period?" I go, "Yep." Hundy goes, "I'm working for it in the background, bro. Keep it on the low key." So as soon as I saw him, he had that face, bro. He rocked up to registration. He had the face. I was like, bro, he's peeled to the bone. You just know, you know.
I think he was working with Elmer Porter from memory. I think one of Elmer's athletes. So it was cool to see him there.
Yeah, he looked great. Gave him a little bit of feedback, but he looked pretty awesome, bro, to be honest.
Georgia.
Yep, Georgia. She won the figure. Just amazing. The 2 or 3 figure girls there that were really super impressive. You know, nice wide shoulders, good V taper, nice quads, and conditioned all the way through. Hammies were tight, glutes were tight. She looked really, really good.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, it's good when you get a good figure. You know, like a good figure competitor. You know, like even when I watch things like the Olympia, I skip a lot of stuff, but I always watch the figure because I'm really impressed by, you know, just the shape that they have is really, really.
Oh, those figure girls in the USA, man, they're unbelievable. Hey, they're like aliens. Hey, you know, I look at their physique. I'd like to look like them. You know, like they're unreal. So it's cool to see.
And Andrew, we've spoken a fair bit about Andrew. So
I think that might be the first time I've ever seen Andrew smile.
True.
We told him to smile. He's got that angry look on his face. I said, "Bro, give us a smile, mate. You're one. Give us a smile."
Gold. Yeah, he earned that smile anyway. So, again, well done, Andrew. And we'll have to get you on for a chat sometime. I think he was going to join us, but he was playing makeup and taking the wifey out on a date. So that was good on you, Andrew, taking the wife out. But we will talk to you at some stage soon.
Oh, his wife is his rock, you know what I mean? Like all of us bodybuilders know, we're only as good as our wife or our girlfriends and our family that support us. And she's there every single step of the way with him. So, you know, I gave her a hug after the show too and said congratulations, because I know the amount of work that she, you know, that has to be involved to support your partner. I love Andrew. I came back here 12 years ago or so, and the first show I prepped a guy for a local show, and Andrew competed at it, and I must have been every single show for the next 5 years. I saw him compete. You know what I mean? Like, this guy does every single show, you know. And I'll be honest. I did say if that guy comes in condition one day from head to toe, he can beat anybody. Like a nice shape, big chest, good shoulders, nice back. He's complete. Just needed to come dialed in and fill it out a little bit. And I'd say that was the best I've seen him look on stage. I was happy that he got the win. Absolutely.
Mike, you've known Andrew for many, many years. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know him well, don't know him personally. I mean, I've just seen him at the shows, and he competed in Never for a while I was judging and competing there. So yeah, I'd come across the path quite a bit, but I wouldn't say I know him personally.
Yeah,
I did. Well, I followed him. I followed his journey through social media and stuff, and you know, he didn't nail it at nationals. He looked like he had a bit of water between the skin and the muscle and didn't quite fill out enough, and I know he was quite disheartened about it. I gave him some encouragement and said, "Hey, our show's in a couple of weeks. Keep going. All you need to do is just fill out, get rid of that water between the skin and the muscle, and fill out a little bit." Like, and he sort of didn't know if he was going to do the show. It might have been 2 days before the show. He sent me a message and said he just registered. So I was really interested to see what physique he bought. and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely brought it. Abby Hewitt.
Yeah, Abby won the bikini. That was really, really close.
How many competitors did you have in the bikini?
Oh, I don't know, but there was heaps. I don't know. You'd almost say hundreds, but it wasn't hundreds. There was a lot. There was a lot. You know what I mean? You know, one thing about that category is you gotta read and understand the definition of the category. And like I touched on earlier, a lot of girls came, you know, flawless from head to toe, but not bikini. You know, not bikini flawless. Like some girls look phenomenal, but you have to be softer in bikini. You can't be shredded to the bone. You can't have styrated glutes. And I was, you know, talking to the judges and making some of the decisions that we made. You have to stay true to the category and not place girls that are shredded over girls that are a little bit softer. And that's why, and that's something I've had a lot of feedback and a lot of questions. And I said to a lot of girls, you've done the hard work and you're lean, but that's not what the category desires. You need to come back a little bit softer, a little bit fuller, you know, a little bit more shape. Don't come in like 1% body fat with styrated glutes, because you're going to place fourth even though you think you're first. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Abby from head to toe, really nice. She just nailed the category pretty much. Nice shape, conditioned enough. That one really comes down around to the back too. There's a lot of girls that can look awesome from the front. You turn to the back, a little bit soft through the back of the legs and that glute hammy sort of tie-in, and that can be the difference between first or fifth, you know?
Hey, what advice would you give to a girl who was going to be competing in maybe a new competitor or someone who's competed for a while, but they're not sure where they sit and they're wanting to do bikini, and, you know, they're sort of listening to this going, well, who should I talk to? You know, who's a couple of good people to reach out to?
You know, I've even myself, email the NZIFBB, Mo, Chris, all the judges. Anyone will give you open and accurate direction. Yeah. I've probably had 10 or 12 girls in the last week or so message me and say, hey, I competed in bikini, what do you think? I'm, you know, steering towards wellness, or am I figure, or whatever. And there was a girl that won Mateo's show on the weekend. She won the wellness overall Delphi. You would have saw her at our show. She was in bikini, but she was shredded head to toe. She had some good quads on her and this and that. And she walked out, and straight away I said, she's wellness, you know, and I don't know where she placed. She might have played third or fifth, and she seemed a bit disheartened. And her coaches emailed me or DM me and said, what do you think of our girl, blah, 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 why didn't she place? And I said, she's just too lean, you know what I mean? She's got muscle, she's wellness. And they said, that was our next question. Do you think we should soften her up for bikini, or should we, you know, go a little bit harder and go for that wellness sort of look? And I said, go wellness. I think you've also got to realize some of these girls, they've got a lot of muscle and they diet down and they're hard, but sometimes if they try and soften out a little bit, they can soften out and be nice up top, but then the bottom it goes too far. You know what I mean? So you got to find to the individual. So she tightened up a little bit and did wellness and won the overall and looked like phenomenal, you know, like she really nailed it. I think girls think, I think a lot of the female competitors think they're too small to be wellness. You know what I mean? And a lot of girls go figure when really they could be bikini. So, man, message me anytime. A lot of people sent me photos and I gave them good, honest feedback and just positive direction. I think just ask. Yeah.
Cool. And our last one, Casey.
Yeah, Casey won wellness. I think she did bikini and wellness, but if you saw her, she had a mean set of quads on her from the front. And when she turned to the back, she had like really good glutes and tight hammies. So I think she just nailed it. Like the bottom half was muscular, and she was nice and conditioned, had good shape through the top. She puts a little bit more size on the shoulders and upper back, and I just told her focus on that category moving forward. You know, if you know what the category requirements are, go and focus on those and come back a little bit bigger, a little bit fuller up top to complement your legs, and you do really well in the category.
Cool. And I think I skipped Ash, but you know, big shout out. We've spoken about Ash, so he looked fantastic. So well done, Ash. Great look. I'm just gonna
actually. Ash came and trained with me on the Monday morning at my gym.
Yep.
And we did shoulders, and he was pressing 50 kg dumbbells on shoulders for like 12, 15 reps. He's strong, Ash.
Holy
I was
shit.
like, man, 2 days out from comp.
Unreal, eh? Unreal. Some people can do it, and other people, you know, your strength just buttons right off.
It's gone. Yeah.
Right. Hey, thank you very, very much, Shane. I know it was getting close to bedtime for you, so appreciate your time.
I've started doing the cardio now, and I'm just going to hit 600 calories a day, you know, from now through to Christmas, and then knuckle down beginning of January. And man, it's just smashing me. Like it gets to 7:30, I'm ready for bed, you know. So yeah, getting up to this old age, I think.
Well, it's good that you can still sleep. I'm sure later on in the prep you'll be lying awake twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, that's what happens, eh? Stay up all night, stay up till midnight, and get up at 3 or 4 in the morning. Yeah.
And go for 5 pisses in between.
Oh, yeah. Sleepwalk to the toilet.
Yeah, man. We love it though, don't we? Rightio, hey, once again, thank you, Shane, and a big shout out to all the competitors that competed. And if we missed you, we certainly, it wasn't intentional, and I was certainly yelling and screaming for you when I was there. So phenomenal show. Love to see more shows of that caliber in New Zealand. And I think Mateo's show's just gone. I think that's us for the year in terms of shows, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it for the year. And Mateo's show looked super quality, you know, from the ground up. And I think that's one thing I sort of said to Mo, I want to bring a little bit of a different element and improve, you know, the look and the feel of the show and you know, those type of things. And I think that we're doing that. So we've got a few surprises for next year. Some interesting things are going to happen. So I think next year is going to be a good year for the Federation and for the sport.
Awesome. Right, guys, everyone out there, thank you for joining us again, and we will catch up with you further down in the week. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks, bros.
Cheers, brother.